What's going on, everybody? All right, so Demetrius Andrade versus Chris Eubank Jr. Will this fight happen? Some people say Eubank Jr. has to accept. Eddie Hearn supposedly made an offer. If anybody remembers, I made that video about, oh, what was that? A week ago, where I said what's next for Demetrius Andrade after he got kicked out of the Canelo press conference. And I went down IBA, IBO, WBA, WBC, IBF, all the different boxing organizations where he could be ranked in the top 10 and go for undisputed. And somebody said that he recently said, I'm going to drop these belts and go to 168. That's what he did at 154. And to me, it's like he keeps making the same mistakes, whether he's with Jay-Z, Rock Nation, no matter who he's with. You can't build a legacy or you can't build a future in boxing on chasing one opponent around. You're just chasing that man. That man already has his legacy. You just keep chasing him around, and you may never get to fight. He could fight Bivol, Joe Smith Jr. He may go up to cruiserweight later in his career. So to get back to the subject at hand, people are saying that he may fight Eubank Jr. and if Eubank Jr. quote unquote accepts the fight. And if Eubank Jr. accepted the fight versus Saunders, I don't see why he wouldn't accept the fight against Demetrius Andrade. Now, it will have to be in the UK because the UK has the money. Eubank Jr. has been on a big card before in the pound. See, people get upset when they say, well, why can't he have it here in Vegas or something? UK's currency is worth more than ours. And Demetrius Andrade, yeah, he sold out his hometown in Providence, Rhode Island. 7,000, 8,000 people, whatever. But he can get, 14, 15,000 over in the United Kingdom with the money being worth more. So what they have to understand is business and get away from the emotional side. Now, he can go beat Eubank Jr. That looks great on him. Then he needs to go fight the IBF champion. I'll do a video about that later. IBF just ordered a mandatory while Triple G, quote unquote, is in limbo, not sure what he wants to do and says he might not fight till December. So y'all have to remember that also. So that's another great point that's going to happen coming up when it comes to 160. I said this with the Devin Haney video. Love Devin Haney. Think he's awesome, supporting 100%. But I want to see these kids get undisputed and get good at their weight class and stop all this jumping weight class because they want this big fight with this guy or this person. If you become undisputed, you become the man, then people will come seek out and try and fight you. You get the following, people will seek out and fight you. And it don't have nothing to do with race because we see Earl Spence draws. Manny Pacquiao draws people to the arena. So when you are legit, people will come to see you. When Floyd was still fighting boxers, he had to draw. He had to, people wanted to come see him fight. So it's that simple, guys. Like, we don't have to take it much further than you got to put the butts in the seat. That's why I made the video about does Devin Haney need a knockout? People want excitement. People will follow you when you're exciting to follow. And I know people are talking about social media presence and all these other things, but you can have a bunch of hits on social media, but if you put people to sleep when you box that night, you're not going to have that big of a following. So y'all let me know in the comment section. Is this a good fight, an okay fight for Demetrius Andrade? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? I think if he fights him, all challengers, gets all the belts, the Ring Magazine and all the different boxing organizations, if he gets those belts and he's undisputed, now he looks great. Now people will have to pay him and he will start getting people challenging him. Then he has to bring something exciting to the ring. Get some knockouts. You know what I mean? Also, I do believe Charlo said he would be willing to work with him, or Al Heyman will be willing to work with him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That's down the road. But as of right now, if Chris Eubank Jr. fights Demetrius Andrade, that'll look good on his resume. Then he can start saying, I fought this person, I fought that person, I deserve this fight. But I think number one for him is to become undisputed. That simple. Remember and it's hit or miss. In Triple G's career, it was he would stay at 160, but he wouldn't go back down to 154, or he wouldn't come up to fight Andre Ward. What Andrade's thing is, he keeps dropping one belt and going up. No, become undisputed, have a following, and then we can see what happens from there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna get out of here. Demetrius Andrade, Chris Eubank Jr., good fight. Good step in the next direction for Andrade if he wants to get that big pay-per-view fight one day. Peace.